Wait for Steve.
Yes, we're waiting for Steve.
She's, so do you have everything?
All right. Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, these are the forward questions.
Right. Music instrument cleaning machine.
Thank you. So what I just passed out is there are some questions that came out of the meeting we had Wednesday. So what I did is I put together, because we wanted a fully landed cost. So the fully landed cost is $23,816, and that's the $21,270 for the cleaner itself, $615 for the transformer, the palletization fee of the $115, and then the actual shipping and handling is going to be $1,816. Now, and then our director of facilities is going to put the plug in, so there's going to be no additional charges for the electrician. So John is.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
So this is,
I don't know how that's gonna work out. I got a plumbing license.
Great.
and then a question also came up on the count or the solution and how much that's going to cost. So with the initial purchase, we're going to get 2 gallons of the solution, so we won't have to spend any extra money this fiscal year. And then going forward, they told me that depending on the amount of instruments we do, they've never seen anybody go over 2 cases, and each case costs $167. That's why I actually put $334 in the little table I put there. Also that we've, and thank you for the comment about our students. So no students are going to have accessibility to this. And in fact, driving home, I said to myself, that's all we have to do is allow students, and we're going to have iPhones and jewelry and everything else in there to see if they can clean it. Thank you for that. I don't believe I didn't say that at the meeting. And I spoke to John, and I also spoke to our music director, and they're the ones who are going to operate it. We have any equipment, safety equipment we need as far as goggles and gloves and anything else in stock. Also, there's no additional ventilation that's required. And, again, I just want to go back, so no additional cost. I went back 2 years to who we were spending with the music store we were using, and we were spending about $3,000 a year. Now, there are some dollars in there to repair some dents, but I didn't go invoice by invoice, but it's approximately $3,000. So we're actually saving, $2,600, $2,500 a year by purchasing this for not having to send them out to get cleaned. And then, so that'll offset the $334 that will cost us going forward. So we will, it's a small amount, but we would be able to budget less if you wanted to look at it that way. And again, there was also a question because of the portability of it, and speaking with John, we're going to store it in the mechanical room. Right across from the mechanical room, we have a mop sink where we could empty the solution when it's time to empty it, and it's biodegradable, so we don't have any concerns there. So if anybody has any other questions,
Does that answer everyone's questions of last week? Thank you. Wayne's excited.
he is.
Yes.
Very excited.
Board chair voting, we talked a little bit about this last month. We said that we would bring it back just in case the board had a direction they wanted to go with this.
First, I think keeping it the way it is works. I prefer to have you not have the ability to vote for tiebreaker. Like tonight, there's 6 of us only. We have a quorum.
There's 7.
No, excluding her, she wouldn't be voting. So if tonight, for example, we had an issue, we wouldn't be able to vote because we wouldn't have a tiebreaker. Well, no, there would be 7, right? I got you. Yeah. But I just think that we should keep it the way it is. That's how I would vote if we were to vote.
Well, when we're talking about a vote, I think you're just looking for consensus, right? Because it is ultimately your decision.
No, so I don't feel that way because I feel like it's setting precedent. Like I think if the board wants to change it, I think we should memorialize that somewhere so that there's not a question of it.
Just build it into one of our
Bylaws.
policies.
Put it into the bylaws,
Yeah.
yeah. So let me ask this, so there's 6 of us here, including the chair. That's four.
No,
Now,
the voting different than quorum. So tonight, if we had a vote and you guys were split 3-3.
Right.
The motion wouldn't carry. But right now in our structure, I could vote to break the tiebreaker and the motion would carry. If I can't vote to break the tiebreaker.
Right.
Then it can only be brought back before the board again if somebody who voted against it were to put it back on the agenda. So the concern is always if you have a combative board, I guess I will say, call it that, is you could kind of filibuster everything by splitting it so that the board can't really do business.
I mean, like, I don't have any issues with the chair breaking the tie. That makes sense as far as, like you said. Split that don't need to be split, but what I was gonna ask was, so if 6 people is a legal meeting, because that's more. Right? So if one is the chair, that means you only have 5 voting members. That means that something could theoretically be passed by only 3 members of the board. 3 members of a 10-member board could theoretically pass an issue. So as long as everybody's okay with that, because I think the reason that this came up was because we were in a context where there was a smaller number of us. And that was maybe the concern, was because it wasn't going to be a unanimous vote, and so does that. So as long as everybody's okay with.
I thought it was not, I thought there weren't enough to make a quorum situation that we talked about
So my
last time.
concern in this case was, we had a quorum with me, but I'm not voting. So we had,
Without you, there was no quorum.
Right.
So they couldn't vote.
well, they did. It did get voted. Oh, so I just think everybody, I'm not saying either way is right or wrong. I'm just saying that we should all know what the desire of the board is on how to handle these type of things. Do you want a minimum number to be able to vote with the understanding that if you have an attendance problem, then you can literally stop any movement of the board? You know, people, you know, periodically, we have attendance issues on the board, and then that would become a thing where the board couldn't take any action. And I think with us, we can't just look at the 10 of us, right? It's future people too, you know, it's not just us. So I think the clearer you can make it on what the intent of this board is, and that's so there's never a chance where someone is being questioned on this. I think everyone should know and understand what it looks like, the structure of it.
It's a silly question, but what is an actual quorum? What's the parameters that define that?
The majority of the board.
The majority.
More than
Which in our case,
More than half.
More
including
than
you,
half. But does it include you
It-
since you're a
yes.
non-voting member?
So
We
that's.
determine that you're a non-voting member, does your person included in the calculation to determine the quorum or not?
Right now, yes.
But technically, she is a voting member because she can break a tie.
But we're saying if she's no longer a voting member and she cannot break a tie,
she would still be able to break a tie, right?
I just
That
wouldn't be
would change.
voting on every,
She wouldn't vote on everything else. She would only vote to
only
break a
vote to
tie.
break a tie. That's
Which is what
currently
she does
I've
now.
done.
And
Yeah.
that's currently
By
what our
choice.
structure has been. It's just not in our bylaws.
Okay, more or less. So, I mean, we've had sticky situations with quorums of recent, so it would concern me to take, I mean, and part of that's because we're already down a member to start with right now. So if anyone gets sick or anything happens, it's very easy for us to breach on that, not ability to have a quorum.
We're missing, well, Nikki's position and Ed.
And that'll be filled, but for the last,
Well, Gary's not here, but Ed hasn't been
Right.
to board meetings.
so we can't count on that. So you would hate for things that need to get done to not be able to get done because you don't have enough people to actually have an official meeting and take action on items. So, yeah. I think the quorum being the majority of the board makes sense so that you can conduct business. But the voting, I think, is a completely different issue. So the way it stands right now, I'm kind of overseeing the meeting and not really pushing my thoughts on stuff. And I think that if I became a voting member and could vote.
That might change.
But-
Worse than me.
So right now, I don't really get to say too much about what I think.
Watch what you wish for. What you're saying is.
Oh,
I would say we keep what we have and memorialize it in the bylaws at the next policy.
does anyone feel the opposite about that? Just so that,
We should all be in agreement to some extent.
The comment I have is that generally speaking, if a committee is constituted by elected members as ours is, where everybody is elected, then the chair has just as much right to vote as anyone else. When a committee is constituted with an appointed head, for instance, like our Board of Public Safety is, where you have elected members, but by town charter, the mayor runs the meeting. The mayor then votes only to break a tie.
Right.
So probably the safest thing for us to do is to keep the chair as a voting member. We don't have to, but general principles would say that's the way it should work.
But to that effect, then, we as elected members voted the chair to preside the same as
The Board of Safety.
Board of Safety as the mayor. So
But they
I think
don't-
it's the same.
They don't vote for the mayor to preside over them.
They
We
voted
do.
for her to
We
be the
vote for
chair,
the person to,
right?
no, they don't, the mayor is.
Just
the
by-
chairman
by
of the Board of
ordinance, by
Public
town
Safety,
ordinance?
charter, yeah, by charter.
Okay.
Whereas Fiona is elected, and we have chosen her among ourselves to chair our meetings.
Yeah, I
I
mean, like, why, just because somebody's chair, do they forfeit their right to vote, I guess? I mean, like, I respect your reasoning behind the way that you handled yourself, but just in general, like, I think that's a good question.
so I think from my standpoint, my concern is that people could stop the business of the board, right? So that if the schools need stuff done, administration needs stuff done, to get a board that becomes split, you could literally sit here and get nothing done, and who would suffer? The kids. So to me,
Right.
that's what I look at it as.
Well,
There needs to be a way to ensure that the business can
Moves
always
forward.
be conducted.
Ellen,
This
to
is
your
a
point,
discussion we will have in
Policy. Yeah, we can move it to
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To Ellen's point just now, we would never have a tiebreaker.
No, it would just die, the motion would die.
Because we're.
If you had, right, if it would always be 5-5,
Right.
Well,
and we can't, not always, but it could be, right,
Correct.
and we'd never have a tiebreaker. And we can't just add another board member, because that's statute driven, right?
charter.
It's charter driven.
So I did a survey of boards to see what they do, and the boards where the chair votes is boards that have uneven numbers.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but that's, we
That
can't
makes
change the number of people,
Yeah.
so, but we'll send it to policy for more discussion. Committee reports, budget committee, I think we've already over everything, same with facility and tech. John, school improvement.
Most of our meeting last month was taken up by the discussion of the health and wellness people that are, they're in the buildings now setting up appointments, and that actually will continue in the next meeting, which will also include, and that meeting is 2 weeks from now. And that meeting will, well, 2 weeks from yesterday, and that meeting will include also report on the local testing that we do, continuation of this, as I said, and a couple of other things too. Agenda will be posted soon.
Policy.
Continue our crosswalk, I believe the 4,000 we'll be doing, or the 6.
I think we have to finish 5,000.
Oh, we finished 5.
No, I think there's, I think we took half of them this month and we have half next month because there was like 10 that we had to look
Okay.
at. So we did half of them this month and next month will be the other half. And then we'll move on to 6,000.
And the
Back to 4,000.
discussion of.
Building committee, for those of you that can make it, they are having a joint meeting tomorrow at 5. It should last 30 minutes on the insurance.
Is that, I didn't think we had a quorum for that.
We do now.
We do?
So Gary originally thought he couldn't make it, but now Gary can make tomorrow
That's with me too,
with you, yeah.
and I can call it.
You can call it, yeah.
Did you cut me in that number too?
I did.
We can call in if necessary.
Yeah, it's only gonna be, Ed said at the most a 30-minute meeting. At the
And it's just on the
It's
builder's
just on
risk
the insurance.
policy and the insurance.
Can you just check for that call in? We had a problem last time.
We
Just
have a
which
problem
one-
every time.
Which one people should be
Yeah.
using for the building committee? Just thanks. Liaison reports.
I'll go. So Southwest School, I have quite a few updates from Dr. Buchanan. First of all, congratulations to Michelle Castellano, and I think Superintendent Lomsky sent us an email about her exciting award. She's going to be featured in the December edition of the School Band and Orchestra Plus magazine. She was selected by their editorial panel for their 50 Directors Who Make a Difference issue of SBO Plus. For over 2 decades, their December issue has honored nominated music directors, featuring only one music educator from each state. During COVID, they were not able to do the feature as schools across the country were in various states of operation with music programs, but music being back, so are the 50 directors being honored. Michelle Castellano will exclusively represent the state of Connecticut in next month's 50 Directors Who Make a Difference issue. That's so exciting. That's great. Conferences were well attended last week, and many of them were student-led, which it sounds like that's been a trend through the district and has been very successful too, in the reports we've gotten. Abercrombie Eye Care, which is eye care represents individual, community, attitude, respect, and empathy. There was an assembly last Monday on that. Magic incorporated some fun magic tricks while sharing stories of kindness. His eye care message explained how these items are all related and steps to put them into action. Again, the individual, community, attitude, respect, and empathy. Last Wednesday, Kid Governor stopped by Southwest School and met with all grade 5 students. Ms. Wilson reached out to the Kid Governor office and registered her class to receive a voting package for students to learn more about the importance of government and election processes. Their office then contacted Southwest School to see if they were interested in him stopping by the school on his tour of schools across the state. He shared the platform of the 7 candidates running for Kid Governor 2023, and all grade 5 students will be watching their video presentation of the platforms and casting their ballots this week. That's exciting. I have some pictures and I can send those to IT, and if you want, you could share those. It's the student council signs. Everybody's has their political signs and their faces on them. It's really cute. Student council is up and running. Advisors are Mr. McCotter, Ms. Wilson, Ms. Calabrese, and Mr. Parkhouse. At their next meeting, they will begin to elect officers. Friday, as all elementary schools and all the schools in the district participated in Veterans Day with several community members. And Corey attended Southwest on behalf of the board and joined in the celebrations. Students shared profiles of service on a few of the veteran guests. Tonight, November 16th, PTO is having pies picked up from the fundraiser at Vogel Wetmore from 5 to 7. Hopefully everyone came to get their pies and they're not melted somewhere. That's not good. After school all-star programs begin right after Thanksgiving break. At advanced staff led by Regina Benson facilitates the Wednesday after school activity, academic help and group games in the gym as part of the program. Next school assembly to recognize November Dragons is November 22nd. School picture makeup day is December 2nd. And then there's the big one here. Okay, so Altrusa International, it's a local group that undertakes a variety of services, literacy and fundraising initiatives. They purchased books on the topic of women and the right to vote. Although COVID made it impossible to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of women's right to vote in 2020, Altrusa would like to acknowledge this milestone by sharing some literature and books with our students around the same time as Election Day 2022. And there's pictures of the kids reading the books as well. And
What was the name of that?
Altrusa International, ALTRUSA International. And that's it. And thank you, Dr. Buchanan, for the detailed update.
Anyone else?
I have four, Mr. Klein. We are proud of our school's recent Veterans Day Assembly. The Forbes community was able to honor and pay their respects to our community's veterans. Some great displays of appreciation. I'm thankful for Ms. McCreesh, Ms. Batua, and Mr. Bader's help, especially in getting this project off the ground. But it was truly a team effort and every class was able to help from pre-K to 5th grade. I'm excited about this week's Spirit Week, where our students have been able to show some of their unique school spirit. We appreciate Mrs. Sanzone's help with organizing this. We are thankful for our families and teachers for facilitating over 300 student-led conferences, with over 80% of our families coming out last week to continue to build upon the great school community we have here at Forbes. Thankful for Ms. Legassi, Ms. Cleveland, and Mr. Bader's guidance in leading this week's food drive to support the community food bank. And they will be at Big Y Plaza this Saturday from 9 to 1 to make one big last push at collecting resources for the community. And just on a personal note, I attended the Forbes Veterans Day Assembly. It was wonderfully done. The kids were so excited and just to participate, and it was so cute to see the 4th and 5th graders with the preschool students, and the high school kids were amazing, and it was just a really great experience. And I also attended Torrington, and it was also amazing. So. Okay.
Torrington. We held a Veterans Day celebration on Friday, December 11th. 34 veterans related to students and staff were honored. The THS, JROTC, color guard, and bugle player and chorus helped us make the ceremony very special, and it was. The entire student body planted flags by the road to kick off the event. It came out like class by class. And just as a side note, one comment, the kindergarten teacher came over and told us that one kindergartner said the small flags that they're planting, would they grow big?
So cute.
And Kathy, Fiona and I, and Susan was also there. We had a scholastic book fair during the parent conference nights. The book fair was a huge success. We had 90% of our families attend the fall conferences. All the 3rd grade students piloted student-led conferences. We'll be starting our winter district assessments in December. We will have a school-wide data team after those assessments to plan for intervention with WIN. The 1st grade is having a special presentation of a portion of the Nutcracker at Torrington on December 1st. 2nd and 3rd grade will be going to see the Nutcracker at the Warner Theater on December 16th. Thank you.
Vogel, Michelson. Parent-teacher conferences were fantastic. We had a fantastic turnout, and parents both arrived and left with smiles. You could feel their pride. Local Wetmore Southwest School Harvest Fest was a blast. We had a good crowd and everyone had fun. One of the highlights was the first appearance of our new Eagle mascot. We received a lot of hugs and high fives. October 31st was Dress as Your Favorite Book Character Day. There were a lot of great costumes among staff and students. Our district-wide PTO pie fundraiser was a great success. As of 5:30 today, all of the pies have been sorted and the distribution had begun. The support of our parents is greatly appreciated. Our Veterans Day Assembly was a huge hit. 41 veterans joined us for breakfast, as well as a beautiful assembly where our staff and students thanked them for their service through songs and poetry. Check out the Fox 61 website to see a great segment, including video of the event. Thank you, Peter.
Ed Advance, learning a lot about real estate right now through Ed Advance. We all got invited to the Family Resource Center open house yesterday, and I went, and I left early, so maybe other people were there too, but it was very well attended, and people from who run it, people at Advance who run it, very complimentary toward the building administration, the cooperation they get, the support they get. The program's been there a long time, and it's just fresh as ever. Doing well.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the monthly
Bless you.
financials.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sue and John,
We're removing item 10B. Entertain a motion to approve the school calendar 23-24 with the change.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
John and Kathy.
Entertain a motion to approve policy number 5028. I'm going to separate this one because there was a question on it.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Yeah, I would like to recommend that we bring this back to the policy committee so that we can discuss the rest of what the policy contains, the alpha pieces that we didn't have a chance to discuss, which amounts to at least 10 pages of policy.
Way to achieve that is to vote against this motion.
Yes.
Go back, and then we'll see it again after it's been discussed. That's the intention.
All those in favor?
To vote against it?
No. in
No,
favor
to
of the
vote for
motion.
it.
Oh,
Accepting it as it's.
Accepting as is.
sorry.
You don't want it, you have to vote.
Sorry, scratch that.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Nay.
Entertain a motion to approve policy 5071, 5186, 5187, 5188, 5193, and 6007 in a bundle.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Me and Kathy.
Entertain a motion to approve the snow plowing with the condition that if we were to lose a parking lot, that would be addressed.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Kathy and John.
Entertain a motion to authorize the superintendent and the board chair to enter into negotiations with Ed Advance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
John and Kathy.
Entertain a motion to approve the TPSAA MOA. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sue and John.
Entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the music instrument cleaning machine. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Sue and Kathy.
We're removing item I. Entertain a motion to approve the Board of Ed regular meeting minutes of October 26th.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
John and Sue.
Entertain a motion to approve the Board of Ed special meeting minutes in a bundle for October 24th, 2 meetings on November 2nd and 1 meeting on November 7th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
John and Sue.
Entertain a motion to receive the committee meeting minutes.
So
Second, all those in favor? Entertain a motion to approve the building committee joint meeting with the Board of Education, the Board of Building Committee version of October 13th, 2022.
Just accepting.
Approving.
Move.
Jess already moved, second.
Second.
So Jess and Glenn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion to receive the consent agenda.
So
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Oh, one abstention. Yes, abstain. Items for upcoming agenda, monthly financials, capital plan.
Do we need to talk about board chair voting again, or is that gonna go to policy?
If
I'm gonna go to
it's
policy.
an
and
accident,
then
so
decide
they
if we
were
want
that,
to
yeah,
bring it forward. Community health and wellness, right?
yes, it's a little improvement, we'll say. Anything else, guys?
So,
Comments to the good of the order. Glenn?
Great meeting, thank you. See you next month.
Next week, tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow.
Good meeting, everyone. Thank you for the updates.
Kathy?
Good meeting. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't see some of you.
Crucible, December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, probably be a great event.
We
Should be
should go as a
event.
team.
And the Forbes School Assembly that Kathy was talking about, what amazed me was the way, when somebody stepped up to that microphone, the room just quieted right down. Very well. It's-
It was
It
very good.
was.
It's wonderful.
And they were so excited for each other.
Yeah.
It was
Very
great.
happy, very good atmosphere.
I also actually moved to tears by some of the Veterans Day things, but I think that the thing that we all forget is these things don't happen by chance.
Right.
There's so much work that goes into these, and it's just incredible. And the kids behaved really well. Staff worked really hard with all of these kids. The veterans were so appreciative of everything that was done for them. So I think it's great that the kids are actually learning about Veterans Day and not just having the day off. So happy that we did that. Also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. All of our staff enjoy the well-deserved few days off. Hopefully you're not cooking and you can actually enjoy the days, but happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Future meetings. Tomorrow, joint building committee. Monday, Wednesday, November 30th, school improvement.
Do we have the budget schedule yet?
Say the 16th, it should say the 14th.
Yeah, Monday's the 21st. So, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Johnny Cash.